Hey YouTube, JP Dillon. This was a cool estate find a while back. It's a 17-inch Chromacolor 2 solid state color set from about 1973 or 74, I think. And you don't see very many of these. And it did come with its little cart, which I do have to make small repairs on, but it's complete. It's got all the knobs. But it's missing the power cord. They couldn't test it. And I don't have a interlock cord that fits it either, so we're going to have to take the back off in order to run it. But this thing's in pretty good shape. There's no cracks in the cabinet. The cabinet looks really nice. It's about as heavy as a brick shit outhouse. Let's turn this around here. And there's the back. VHF, UHF, and then you can see the multitude of adjustments here. Setup switch, sharpness, screens, horizontal hold, focus. So I'm hoping that it got the recall and it doesn't have the white safety capacitor in it. Also hoping that the CRT is good. I don't know how long it's been sitting, but it's been without a cord. You can see that the little cheater cord's missing there. And the only one I've got handy is this one, which will not fit in that cavity, so it's not like I can just plug it in. But kind of curious to see what's on the inside anyways. So let's go ahead and take it apart and take a look at what we're looking at. I'm betting it's probably a vertical chassis. Alright, so here it is apart. Vertical chassis, just like I thought. And they say that's a 17, looks like an FC45, which coincides with the diagram on the back. And the first good piece of news that I have is that someone has replaced the white safety capacitor with the upgraded orange. Little history on those. Those safety capacitors there were to help regulate the high voltage. And the capacitor would fail, and when it did, the high voltage went through the roof and it would literally snap the neck off the CRT. Not good. And also it's true that the horizontal output transistor has been replaced. That would have not have been a Matsushita part, that would have been a Zenith part for sure. There's not a lot that goes wrong with these things, except maybe an occasional power supply filter in the going bad or open. There, you've got your IF, you've got your sound. I believe this is your color board, this is your video board. I forget what this is, although the little diagram will tell us. Nope, that's the video board, and the one to the right of it here, 988, that's your luminance processor. This is your video output board with your red, green, and blue drive transistors. This little guy is your 24 volt regulator that runs all your transistors. And then on the neck of the CRT we've got all our convergence. You've got your vertical output module, which appears to be the upgraded version. Tell that by the color of the board. It's the newer board. Your horizontal drive, and then your horizontal output. And then back here, just kind of obstructed here, you've got this Trippler. High voltage Trippler, which can't tell if that's stock or not. Might have been replaced. They had a high failure rate, but who knows. Flyback looks good, no cracks, no signs of death there. Yeah, so the nice thing about these is you can take these 1/4 inch nuts loose and loosen the bracket down here, and then this whole chassis folds down so that you can get to the back sides of the board. You'll see an occasional power supply capacitor go bad, but really it's just the edge connectors here get touchy, and you'll start getting flickery pictures and all sorts of things like that. Really well made sets. These were really, apart from the first generation System 3, these were really the last of the decent made Zenith color TVs. And there's no signs of death here. This fuse isn't blown up. It still looks like it's got an element inside. If it'll focus and let me see inside. Yeah. So we're going to just juice it, see what happens. And hopefully we'll get a raster. Another cool thing about the Chromacolors is the black matrix CRT, which is hard to see here. but the mesh you're looking at is the shadow mask, and normally that's kind of a lighted metal, and this is a darker metal, so it's supposed to produce brighter contrast and a better picture. So I got it all hooked up. Let's hit the button and see what happens. I hear high voltage. No raster yet. Ah, we got something. Very dim and out of focus. Yeah, nothing so far. Big transformer in these things, they always make a nice hum. So it's hard to tell because the white balance in the camera is screwing with everything, but it's very purple, which tells me that the green gun's a little tired. Also, the focus is terrible, just terrible. I'm going to see if I can find a well, actually, what I might do first is get it on a CRT tester and see what it looks like, because this suggests that the CRT is pretty tired, but never really can tell with these. Sometimes they wake right up if you cook them a little bit, and other times they don't. Let me see if I can dig up a signal generator and we can see what it looks like. Alright, so here we have my trusty old WR64B plugged into this thing. And let's flip on the pattern. And it is blurry as all get up. Now if I turn the brightness down, it calms down a little bit. But definitely if you turn up the contrast or the brightness, it immediately fuzzes out. And again, the picture is pretty weak looking. So I'm thinking the CRT might be tired. I'm hoping not, because these 17s are hard to get, but this is really bad. And even with the brightness cranked all the way up, it just kind of goes into this kind of gross fuzz look. So, not all that great. Let's see here. If we go into color bars, make sure our AFT is on. I got no color really, even if I turn the color output up and down. Nothing going on there. Alright, so it doesn't look great. Yeah, it just looks ugly. So what we need to do next is we need to put a CRT tester on it and see if it's the CRT that's causing this horrible defocusing, or if it's the Trippler that's bad. Because the more brightness I crank, the more cloudy it gets. And normally if it's just a high voltage problem from the Trippler, usually the cloudiness kind of goes away. But when I go back here and I adjust the focus, it only gets worse. And if I turn it down, it sharpens up a little, not a lot. And we see also we got blooming too. Well, let's hope it's just the Trippler. Let's get a CRT tester on it and see what it looks like after that. Alright, so we got our Beltron out. I don't know if it's a number 2 or a number 10 socket, but we'll soon find out. So let's try the number 2 first. Yeah, let's go ahead and set our voltage. Yeah, let's see how it comes up. If it comes up. So this is a good sign. So all the blue came up the fastest, followed by green, followed by red, and they're both pretty decent. I mean, I could run it through a cleaning cycle just to make sure everything's happy, but as of right now, all three lights light up perfect, so I don't really need to do anything else. This CRT is in good shape. So really, I guess the main factor is that Trippler. The Trippler is behind this plate here, this plastic guy. So usually that's an ECG 528 or 536. I don't remember which one. But this is really good. Let's see what the cutoff is, or the life test is. About 8 seconds and it starts to drop off. But they all drop equally, which is good. So although it's not great, for a 40-something-year-old set, it's doing okay. Okay, that works for now. Okie dokie. Well, the part cross-references to a ECG 528A, which I have on order now from Wholesale Electronics. Claims to have it in stock. So once we get that, we can go through replacing the Trippler, and then hopefully that will snap in our picture and our focus problems. And then we can focus on doing the setups and fixing the color. But so far, I'm happy. We've got a nice strong CRT and a good set to start with. Once we get all the bugs worked out, it should produce a beautiful picture. So until then, that's part one. Thanks for watching the video, and more stuff to come soon.